What's going on, everybody? It is DeKesha Williams, your host of the Profit Producers Podcast, and I am excited to be here today with you. We have a special guest, one of our clients, Darlene Thorne, who is rocking it out in her space. So I am excited to have you here because your area of expertise is something that's near and dear to me. I know that we came together. We met each other online. I think you came through an ad, or have
Yeah.
you been? I think you came through an ad. See, y'all, ads work. Woohoo!
Ads and emails.
Ads and emails, they work. There you go. I love it. But she can't get rid of me now. She is family now. She's a part of the tribe.
For sure.
But we actually came together because, and I'll let her tell a little bit about herself. As you guys know, 2023 was a difficult year for my family, where I was put in a situation where I had to take care of my mother, and I became a full-time caretaker. And so that is what Darlene specializes in. So without further ado, we just gonna jump right into it, because this is gonna be juicy. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be informative. And that's what we're here for, and yes, this is the Profit Producers Podcast, but listen, we are humans at the same time. Okay. So life happens, to us all. And so if we can prepare you, for the unexpected things that happen in life, then that's what we're here to do. That within itself is profitable. All right. All right, Darlene. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us how you got to how were you able to get to where you are on this journey?
Absolutely. Well, listen, it all started about 38 years ago when I said yes to my husband.
Wow.
We got married in October 1985, and we've been rocking it. Children, ministry, business, traveling all around the world. Our children are grown and gone, and we decided we're going to make a new bucket list.
Okay.
So our new bucket list was we were going to do more travel. We were going to do more things. However, in November of 2019, everything changed. I remember I was getting ready to go to get my hair done, as I always do every 2 weeks. We keep this on schedule.
I know that.
And I was telling my husband goodbye, because usually on Fridays, that's his day off from work. And I called his name and he didn't answer me. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe he went out and took his walk already. But then I saw his sneakers on the ground in the living room. So I'm like, no, he didn't leave yet. And I found him in the bathroom, almost unresponsive.
Oh, wow.
So what we ended up doing is getting him to the hospital, calling emergency, and ambulance came, and come to find out that he suffered a hemorrhagic stroke. And this hemorrhagic stroke affected his memory, and he spent many months in the hospital from November 15th until May 6th. Now, November 15th of 2019 was the beginning when people were talking about COVID. So we walked through this whole COVID thing. And when he came home, I found myself to be his 100% caregiver.
Yeah.
It was me and him. And at the very beginning, there was nobody coming in or out of your house without a mask, without booties on their feet, So we had people coming in that came in to do his physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, all of that. But one of the things I found is that I'd already been prepared for certain things to take care of my husband.
Wow.
Things that happened to me when I was younger. I was a candy striper. I worked in a nursing home as one of my first jobs. When I was in college, I worked in the hospitals overnight, doing part-time work. Not realizing that a lot of those things really prepared me for what I began to do with and for my husband.
Right.
When he began his road to recovery. And what I found is people were asking me, how do you make this look easy? How do you do this? How are you able to continue to do what you're doing? Because see, I was still building my business. I was still going live. I was still doing, going places, doing things. And they're wondering, how do you do this? And so in my prayer time, heard the Lord say, you are a caregiver's co-mentor. And you
Wow.
need to walk with people and help them to navigate through waters that they did not sign up for, that they didn't expect. Because see, I didn't expect it. I didn't sign up for it, but I knew that I had been prepared for it.
Look at that.
So
Look at that.
that's how I got to do, and I say get to do it, because I realized that it is a business, but it's also ministry. It's also something that's very important to me, to help men and women go through gracefully and grow through without losing their minds.
And that's so important. And I'm so, like I told Darlene when I met her, like, where were you at the beginning? Okay. I mean, because like, especially when it's all of a sudden and you don't have the time or the opportunity to prepare for it, you have no idea where to go to get resources. You have no idea. And unless you know someone who's been through it, or, and then even then, like, some of the resources are insurance based. So they may not be the same. So you might have different insurance from what the person that they have insurance or what have you. So there's a lot of information that's out there that a lot of people don't know about. And I love that you are building a resource where people will be able to come to you, and no matter where they are, and you can assist them with where they are in life. Because, when you're put into that situation, your main thing is to take care of your loved one.
Yep.
That's it. That's the main thing. That, what do I need to do today? And you literally take it hour by hour, day by day, minute by minute, right? Yeah. And it's like, okay, so what do we need to do for the next hour? What do we need to do for the next 4 hours? Okay, got that down. What do we need to do for the next day? Okay, got that down. Rest of the week, month. Like, you literally find yourself living in moments.
Moment.
Yeah, moments of moments.
Yeah.
And so when you're just kind of plunged into it, it's like, you don't have time to go look for resources.
Well, see, that's the thing. I can't say I cheated, because that's not true. My husband was in the hospital for a long time.
Right.
So when you're in the hospital with the nurses and doctors, you get to bend their ears for a minute.
Yes.
And because of the type of illness my husband was recovering from, it was not just cut and dry. What the nurses told me is, as he was in recovery, they just couldn't just dry him out, get him all in medicine that they put in, just as dry it out and start all over again. No, he had complications.
Right.
He is actually a case study.
Oh, wow.
For how you deal with him, because there were so many other things that were going on with him. So what I found is, I made resources of those who were around me.
I love that.
And so one of the things that I've realized is that we cannot and should not overlook the people that are in our sphere of influence. When you're in the hospital, the nurses, they need to become your best friends. I found myself, because we were there for quite a few different holidays, I was bringing them Christmas presents. I bought them stuff for New Year's.
Wow.
When my husband was in recovery, you remember when they do the Girl Scout cookie drive, right?
Yeah.
I bought as many Girl Scout cookies. It's because, see, you got to remember, he was in the hospital for a long time. So by this time, I knew the staff. Everyone
was
on staff.
Their work schedule. So you'd be back Thursday at 7.
Yeah, exactly.
I make sure I be here. I'll call you, okay?
That's it. That's it. So you make friends with them, and you make them allies, and you garner information from them.
Mm-hmm.
And when one thing doesn't work, they're like, okay, well, here, try this. And I'm keeping notes, and my phone was my, and continues to be my best friend. Voice memos, every
Mm-hmm.
time they open their mouth, wait a second,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hitting voice memos so I could have the information. That's one of the things that really helped me,
Nice. Nice.
is
That makes sense.
getting that information and talking with the nursing staff, talking with the doctors, asking them all kinds of questions. See, the thing is, when we make the doctors our allies and really work with them, you get a lot further than being agitated when it doesn't seem like it's going the way you think it should go, or in the time frame that you think it should go, because there are certain things we just don't understand, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, that's not my field.
Right.
So I honor you for what you do, so I'm going to get on the good side of you so you give me more. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that's really critical, is that's how I was able to garner information, by sitting with them, talking to the doctors, talking to the nurses, and making notes,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping a file
Yeah.
of what I need to do. Because even when he came home, there were things that you needed to make sure you were on top of, and be
I'm
the
sitting here now.
advocate.
I'm looking at
Hmm.
so she's giving y'all some tips without you even realizing that she's giving you a tip.
Hmm.
Because I have a folder in my notes on my phone for mom. I think mom has her own folder for when we were going through everything, where, every time she went to the doctor, all of her what do they call them?
Every note that they gave you,
Yeah, like every
every
time her
diagnosis
vitals,
they
like
said, and
all her
every
vitals are
vital.
in there,
Yes,
everything. Like
yes.
every time we went to the doctor, I was documenting, and mom had a designated folder. I had all doctors' numbers, emails if necessary. Like we had, so she's giving you a tip, regardless whether you know it or not. Um,
Mhm.
but one of the things that I think is unique about your situation is that um you are also a entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And you know talk to the entrepreneurs that are dealing with this a little bit. Just talk to us a little bit about that. How can entrepreneurs, what's one of the tips that you would give an entrepreneur for them to, I don't want to say balance, but them to continue to work in their business and take care of their loved one?
Yeah, the word is not balance. The word for me is harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of three-part harmony. You've got soprano, alto, and tenor. And when they all sing together, they sound wonderful. And they also sound wonderful by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So you find a way to create harmony within what you do. Do not ever be afraid to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone offers you help, please say yes. And don't try to be Superman or Superwoman and say, no, I got this.
Right.
Because there are opportunities that are afforded to you
Mm-hmm.
that gives you the freedom to continue to work in and on your business.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to do that by saying yes when someone offers to help. They ask you, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Please, y'all, if you are trying to be the VA, if you are trying to be the social media queen or king and all of that yourself, do bite the bullet. Hire someone to do the work for
Yeah,
you.
it's definitely a task.
It's
It's definitely.
yes, yes.
So, so I know that you work with caregivers. And so, what are three things that you would share with them to maybe simplify some of the things that they do, or um what are some tips that you can give? Because and I can only speak for me. Like, I'm entering into that age where both of my parents are, they're of retirement age, and pretty soon, you never know, might have to take care of mom or dad. You know what I mean? So, what's your advice for our listeners, our viewers that may find themselves already in their spot where they're taking care of mom or dad or someone else, husband?
Yeah, you know what it is? I found that you can, if at all possible, include that person. Include that
I'm sorry.
person in what you do. Leave it alone. Okay, I'll be good. Include the person that what you do. Let them
Mhm.
know what you're doing.
Mhm.
If they are in position, the person that you're caring for, if they're in position to understand what you're doing, involve them in it,
Mhm.
because they're really a part, they are a partner in what you do, because they can either help or hinder you in getting your whatever it is that your business
The
is,
outcome that, yeah.
to bring the outcome that you desire. They
Mhm.
could be a hindrance or a help, so you can let them know what you're doing. For my husband, I was very, very clear. We're building a business together, honey, and you're helping me build the business. See, one of the things about, and not every person who you are caregiving for is immobile, or some of them are not, they're still in their right minds, and
Cognizance is
very,
still there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, their cognition is great. And my
Mhm.
husband he's the money man and the numbers man. So when I talk to him, I ask him about these things. So I'm getting the information still.
Okay.
I
I
think
love it.
another thing that's really critically important is that you be very sure about what it is that you're going to do. Be very clear and have a coach. Every coach needs a coach.
Mhm.
Every business person needs somebody that holds them accountable. Because when you're running into some situations that are, taking you out there, you've got to have somebody that's going to be there with you to help you navigate through those waters. I
Mhm.
cannot stress enough the importance of having a coach and being honest with where you are, so that
Mhm.
they can give you the right directions and the right directives. Because again, if they're your coach and they're worth their salt, they'll come and help you out in a pinch.
Mhm.
They'll come give you the shortcuts, or give you a way to get what you need to get done, so that you can still care for your loved one
Right.
and still do what you've been called to do.
I love it. I love it. You've shared some great information, and if you're watching, regardless if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, I want you to share your story, share your aha moment. Make sure that you tag Darlene in it so that she knows that you're watching this episode. But this this is so needed. Like, this conversation needs to
Mhm.
happen more and more. So tell
Yeah.
us about. Can we talk about your collaboration? I know you might be closing it, but can we talk?
Absolutely. I'll
Okay.
tell you about it.
I
Yeah.
was like, I know, maybe this will be the start of volume 2.
I'm open for all of that. Well, let me tell you, and this is what I say about having a coach. In my um let me say, I want to say about a year ago, it was in my head, you should do a book collaboration, and you should find other caregivers who can come together and share their stories. And at the time, I really was like, who's going to, first of all, who's going to want to share their story? Who's
Mm,
going to want to collaborate with me? Da 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 da. The stories you tell yourselves. That's a whole nother, anyway.
that's a whole nother
Yeah,
podcast.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. Let me fast forward a few months ago. I get connected with DeKesha, and we were talking about building our network, building our tribe, getting to know other people, getting outside of your comfort zone. And I mentioned, be careful when you say things to your coaches. I mentioned it. And she said, Darlene, that's what you need to do. And she gave me the exact, literal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to your coach, I went, put a post out there. I said, I'm looking for 12 people who are willing to share their caregiver stories. I tell you, within a day.
Come on.
Within a day, I already had 10 or 12 people that had put their name in the chat. And then,
go ahead.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Then I got somebody else that they put somebody else's name in the chat and said, you need to do this. Before I knew it, I've got all these people, these women who are willing to share their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to your coaches. Do what they because see, the thing is, I realize now we haven't known each other for a long time, but I believe that there was a connection that happened the very first day we talked. Now, I'd been getting her emails and I'd been looking at the ads for a long time. But when it was my time to step in and to jump in, I jumped in both feet. And I recognize that there's something about timing. Doing the thing at the right time. I will never regret what investment I made in DeKesha Williams.
Oh,
I will never regret it because it's already paid itself off.
Wow.
It paid itself off. If for nothing, and yes, it's monetary, true, but if for nothing else, the community that exists here, we push each other to do what we know we're supposed to do.
Right.
Being a part of the summit with you, amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I know that there's more to come.
But we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah, we just getting started, just scratching the surface.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that. Number one, you said on one of our trainings within the last week or so, which number are you on?
Oh, I've already got, let me tell you, I got 2 more people.
What?
I thought I was done, but when you have conversations with people and you tell them what you're doing.
Yep.
I literally was having a conversation with a woman and I told her what I was doing. And she says, I want to be a part of that. Then I go to there was a training that was going on. And in the training, they tell you, put in the chat what you're doing. I put in the chat what I'm doing. I said that I've got a book collaboration going on. I got somebody that inboxed me and said, I want to be a part of that.
Wow. So that's an 11.
Yeah.
That's 11. Yeah.
Yes,
okay, that's number 11.
Yes, ma'am.
And she followed directions, and that's all, and that's it. Like, idea plus implementation equals income. She had the idea, I gave her the implementation, and she generated the income. You can't beat that. And the thing about it, you say that this is just the beginning, because this year was my reset year. Like, taking care of my mother was a reset year. I worked part-time in my business. What you saw from me was part-time. That's what people don't understand. So I said, here's what I said. And I said it to you all. I think I said it to you all on one of our coaching calls. I said, if we can generate what we generated in business part-time with little to no effort, what would happen if I set the intention to 10x.
See, y'all don't understand. I have already set my intention for 2024. 2024 is going to be my best year yet.
Come on. I love it.
I've already set the intention, because I know, first of all, when you recognize what you have, I think that is critical. Don't belittle what you have. And then go out there and talk about it. There is nothing, you gave a challenge, and I think I may have missed 1 or 2 days. But we were at whatever date it was 100 days until the end.
It was 108 days.
108 days. And she put out a challenge. We're going live in some way, shape, or form every day.
Yep.
I think I missed a couple of days. And the days that I missed is because I was on a cruise.
Right.
Wait a minute. Hold up. I was on a cruise. That was my business. And when I spoke, I had my books with me, and everyone who attended purchased a book.
Come on. That part. I love it. I love it.
So this is just, like I said, this is just scratching the surface. I have come into, I believe I have been elevated, up-leveled, you name it. But it first started, and I believe that this is important for each and every one of us to know, that it first starts right here. What are you saying to yourself about what you carry? What are you saying about yourself as to who needs what you have? And are you willing to make the investment in yourself to make sure you get what you have out to the world?
I love it. And the best is yet to come. That's the word. That's the words of Les Brown.
The best.
The best is yet to come. No, who is that? Dr. Oh my God, I see it. Willie Jolly. The best is yet to come. I love that. I love when he says that. The best is yet to come. So okay, so I do have the last part of our podcast, which I always love to do, because a lot of times they see us online, they don't really get to know us for who we are. We only share as much as we desire to share. So one of the things I like to ask is, what is one thing that most people don't know about you?
When I was pregnant with our first child, we went to a banquet for the Ronald McDonald's Children's Charities, and I got to take a picture with the then First Lady Barbara Bush.
Wow.
And now let me tell you, that woman did not take pictures with anyone. She did not like to take pictures. So to get a picture with her, that was gold.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yes, it was. So who's your favorite motivational speaker?
Oh, you don't want to ask me that. I've got too many. My favorite, Inky.
Inky?
Yes.
Who is Inky?
You've never heard of Inky? Oh, okay.
Inky. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that one up.
Oh, my goodness.
See, this is why these are questions.
Inky Johnson is my favorite motivational speaker. He was going to play professional football. And just before he was going to be recruited, he had an injury where he lost the use of his arm.
I've seen him present. I have seen him present.
Oh, that man is bad.
I'm looking at a video. I've seen his video. I didn't remember his name. Wow.
What he says to me is that we have no excuse.
We don't. No more excuses.
No excuses. So
Mm.
he is one of my favorites.
I have to
I
write
mean,
that.
I also
This is why I love this part. I love this part because you learn, like you learn.
yeah.
So I be cheating, and so look, the next one is what book are you reading right now?
That's
I be getting all the good stuff. I be like, oh, motivation. No, let me see books.
well, the book that I've been reading because I've been teaching on it is Atomic Habits by James
Oh,
Clear.
that's a good one.
Yes, Atomic Habits.
I like that one.
And
Yeah.
and then there's another book that I just started. It's called Buy Back My Time.
Ooh.
Buy Back My Time. Well,
Listen,
I'm not.
I keep telling people, I was like, by the time we finish a couple of episodes, we're gonna have a whole blog post on book recommendations from our guests. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Oh my goodness! Yes, that is a
Oh,
book
that's a
that
good
it's.
one.
I'm
Okay.
not reading. I'm actually listening. It's on Audible. Yeah,
Same thing. I'm just playing.
yeah. What is the same? One is the same. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I have over 101 titles on Audible.
Yeah, you and me. Yeah, for real. For
Yeah,
real.
I mean, oh, let me update mine. So I'm over here right. I'm got them now.
I know you are.
Well, any last things that you would want to say to our entrepreneurs or caregivers out here that are listening, that our viewers? What's your last thing that you want a piece of advice that you want to give to them? And then let us know how can we get in contact with you.
Don't believe that you're alone
Mm.
because you're not. I want you to think about when you bought your last car.
Mm-hmm.
You thought that you bought the only
Hmm.
Toyota RAV in the world. But
Mm-hmm.
after you bought it, you saw Toyota RAVs all over the place. I want you to know you're not alone in this caregiving space. Make it known. Don't
Mm.
hide behind the fact that you're caregiving for someone. You allow yourself grace, and others will give you grace. I think that's critically important that we don't hide behind. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to contact me, you can. Well, you've got so many ways to contact me. Let's see. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm Lady Darlene LT3.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook. I'm Darlene Thorne MDiv. You can also follow me on Clubhouse, Refresh, Refill, Renew. That is my house, and we are there every day.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I love
So
it.
you can follow me there. And if you want to reach out to me, go to my website, darlenethorne.com. Darlenethorne.com. Leave me a message. You can get in contact with me and we can have a conversation. Let's book a discovery call and we can find out exactly where you are and how it is I can help you to continue to do what you know you're supposed to do. And you don't have to do it alone.
I
Every
love it.
coach needs a coach.
I love it. Well, I tried to tell y'all this was going to be a good episode. So listen, make sure that you get in contact with Darlene. If you know anyone that is a caretaker, if you are one yourself, definitely reach out to her. Like you see, she is a wealth of knowledge and information. Again, Darlene, thank you so much for showing up for the Profit Producers podcast. We're going to go ahead and close out this episode. My name is DeKesha Williams, your webinar and business strategist. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. We'll